We went to an abandoned hospital, and there was a large square staircase spiralling up to the roof on the outside of the building, a locked steel door at the bottom, so the only way up was to climb on the outside up to the first landing. So my buddy boosts me up. I climb over, and there's a sleeping bag with a steak knife next to it on the landing. So I call down, we're definitely not alone here, dude. No, it's cool, says a voice behind me, scaring the crap out of me and causing me to jump and whirl around. There's a young, dirty, homeless-looking guy standing there, coming down from the stairs above, hands up, palms out. Didn't mean to scare you, he says, as he takes a seat on the stairs. So I carefully step on the handle of the steak knife, lean over the edge, and pull my friend up. We had planned to sit on the roof and drink beer, so we offer the homeless guy a beer, which he gratefully accepts, and we shoot the shit on the landing for a while. We're talking about the city, cops, travelling, just life in general. He's basically a drifter, been in town for a week or so, but generally a nice guy. And things are going pretty well when he asks, "You guys are human, right?" I fucking hate it when I meet people that end up being aliens, and you never know until you peel their skin off. They've been after me a long time, you know. They don't stop. They never stop. Sometimes I think I should just kill everyone to be safe. And you can tell he's definitely not joking, and there's an uncomfortable silence as my friend and I realise this guy is batshit crazy. "Yeah man," I say, "we're human. We just wanted to check the place out and drink some beer. So we're going to head and move on now. We definitely don't want any trouble." He just stares in silence. So we leave him the last beer, carefully back up to the railing, jump down, and walk away very quickly, constantly looking back over our shoulders. The entire time he's just standing there, still and silent, watching us leave. That place is still abandoned 5 years later, and we've never been back. I'm not a believer in the supernatural, but humans can be deceptive and dangerous in ways you can't see coming. A group of my friends and I explored an abandoned asylum a couple of years ago in the OKC metro. Very unsafe at night for silly college freshmen like ourselves, and the first experience we had was all of us taking our merry time, enjoying the darkness and generally fucking around. You have to come in through a broken window, and we were all gathered at the window, just being dumb when we hear loud, echoing footsteps down the hall running towards us. We all did that. Who the heck is there? Who's messing with us? Look and turn around after realising we're all present and none of us are sprinting down the dark abandoned hallways. We booted out of there. The second time, we could hear a group of people messing with us, jumping out from around corners and such, but they never got too close. We assumed it was an animal at first, but got brave and realised it was a person. We managed to catch them after staring at a collection of seemingly drugged up 20-somethings who begged us for cans of paint and cigarettes. We got the not so good vibes and tried to leave. The leader of the haunted asylum cronies asked if we had jewellery, which we denied. He then said the creepiest thing I've ever heard in my life. "I like jewellery. I take it off the girls here when they sleep." Needless to say, we haven't been back. I had one creepy experience, but my friends who always go exploring told me about this time they were just following a trail that went into the hills. And after almost reaching the freeway, they ended up near an old, closed-up train tunnel. And they were able to squeeze through some loose fencing, and after wandering through with nothing of interest, they eventually came to a bunch of shipping containers. They told me that when they glanced inside, they saw tons of guns and ammo, and just a shit ton of other heavy boxes in the other containers. And after a few minutes of checking it out, they heard voices from further down the tunnel, coming closer, so they got out of there. They also said it smelled like the ocean towards the end of the tunnel, so that might have let out near the beach. And here's an update, and some added clarification. The place they hiked to was somewhere between Santa Barbara and Oxnard in California. As they stopped on the 101 going southbound and started their hike, and ended up returning to the car and going to Oxnard the next day, they made a report to the police, but I haven't heard of anything come of that, either in the news or otherwise. Also, some people said it might be smugglers, but given that the crates were unlocked, the tunnel wasn't unguarded, and it was accessible to just about anyone who wandered in there. I doubt that's the case. If it was, they were either just about to take off, or they were really stupid. Last winter, I went to this abandoned parking lot under a closed shopping mall. It had 2 levels. The upper level had a bit of sunlight going in through the windows, but the lower level was pitch black. I made my way down this wide ramp that the cars would use, and I decided to have a look at the bottom level. After turning on my flashlight, I noticed that the space was huge, much, much bigger than the upper level. I remember how the light danced through the many supporting pillars and casted vivid shadows. I said hello, and I'm just taking a look around, just to make my intentions clear, but was met with no response. So I decided to walk around for a bit, but couldn't see anything of interest, just lots of junk, some empty old bottles, but nothing that might indicate someone living or hanging around down there. And the place seemed completely abandoned. However, this uneasy feeling that someone might be hiding in the pitch black shadow of one of those pillars took the better of me, and I climbed back up the ramp. I left taking a different route and passed under an overhead clearing that snow had fallen through, and just as I was about to hop the fence and leave, I noticed that the patch of snow that had formed had footprints in it. I know this doesn't sound horrifying when I explain this to you, as the logical explanation was that some poor chap had probably taken shelter from the cold inside the lot, but still, being there creeped the hell out of me. There was an abandoned hotel I was checking out. I had gained access through a blown out window near the indoor pool. It smelt like death inside. I come to find a couple of bloated dead deer in the slime collected towards the deep end of the pool. That should have been my sign to not go in. But anyway, I make my way into the lobby and banquet areas. I come across a couple of raccoons and squirrels who scurry away swiftly. Everything is destroyed. Even the reception desk has been ripped in half, so nothing of interest there, just piles of trash. After a bit of searching, I find the stairwell, and there's an odd noise coming from above that I brush off as rain. I decide to skip a couple of floors because they're probably in the same condition as the lobby, and a lot of the exterior windows had been blown out. I get to level 4 and open the door. Not worried about noise, as I'm confident that I'm the only sober person on the premise of not the only person. As I pull the door open, the rain noise suddenly ceases, completely. I point my flashlight down the hallway and see hundreds and hundreds of geese poke their heads out of the guest rooms. I remember the moment where nothing moved and we just stared at each other as lasting several minutes, though I'm sure it was around 10 seconds. Here I am, in the middle of the hall, geese of abandoned luxury staring me down. Once the initial shock of the sight wears off, I remember I'm only looking at half of the floor. Behind me, these geese aren't pulling a deer in the headlights, they're coming towards me. Time to go. I closed the stairwell door behind me, only muffling the cacophony that erupted once I moved. As I hustled down the stairs, I realised the signs were there. Goose shit everywhere. I hit the lobby and turned towards the pool where a group of geese had collected as if they were trying to trap me. Luckily, they're just dumb birds. I got out to find the exterior of the hotel swarming with geese, and there was one lone sentinel standing on the roof, honking out a shrill command that the perimeter had been breached.